What's up, guys? So I am back from my vacation in Jamaica. It was really fun. But I wanted to make this video because I was rewatching the Resident Evil 2 remake announcement video on YouTube, on Resident Evil's official YouTube page, and I was watching it and I'm like, I think I know why they announced Resident Evil 2 remake so early, and I hope you guys agree. This is just my theory and my opinion. Do not take it as fact, but let me know what you guys think about my thoughts in my head. So anyways, before we get into it, I want to play this video, basically of them announcing it, and show you what sparked this conversation I'm gonna have with you guys. So here we go. So yeah, he's talking about the project and everything like that. And this is the part I kind of feel it's very ironic. 2 years later, it will be some time before we can bring you an update on this project. I guess they warned us right there, like, don't get too excited, but then again, what's the point of announcing the release date? But this is not the part I want to talk to you guys about. It's Resident Evil brand in the future, and then he comes up with this. He says, such as the upcoming HD remaster of Resident Evil 0. Now this part actually sparked this fire in my head. Is it possible that the only reason why they announced Resident Evil 2 remake is coming August 12, 2015 is to push Resident Evil 0? It's crazy, and I hear you guys' your questions that you're saying right now. You know, what's the point of announcing Resident Evil 0 here? You know, whatever. Now let me explain. So I think that the only reason that they announced Resident Evil 2 remake is just to push the HD remaster version of Resident Evil 0. I feel they did this because of the success that Resident Evil remake has. Resident Evil remake remaster, this game, Capcom kept bloating about for a week when it first came out. So here, as you can see here, it says the game is now the fastest selling digital title in the company's history across North America and Europe. Also here, it says the game also broke PSN's records. It broke PSN's records where it was the biggest selling day one digital title. So Resident Evil Remake was a big game for Capcom on PS4 and Xbox One. So yeah, I feel the only reason why they decided to make the Resident Evil 2 Remake announcement video is to push Resident Evil 0 in you guys' mind. So sorry, you make the video about Resident Evil 2 Remake, you tell them we're not gonna have any information for you soon, and then you mention Resident Evil 0. So I feel like they're taking the hype that people have for Resident Evil 2 Remake, pushing it towards Resident Evil 0. I feel like, again, this is the only reason, so they can recreate the sales number they had for Resident Evil Remake, because again, this was huge news for the company. They weren't doing anything nearly as good as this at that time. So again, I don't think there's anything wrong with this, simply because they're a company. They're supposed to sell things first and the fans come second. So again, I feel the only reason why the Resident Evil 2 remake was announced was to probably push sales from Resident Evil 0, because thinking about it back then, right, not 2 years later, in that moment, oh my god, Resident Evil 2 remake's coming, and then they say Resident Evil 0, and you're like, I gotta replay more of the classics, because you realize the classics is where it's at. This was my mindset anyways. So this isn't true. It can't be true or whatever. Like, it can be and it can't be at the same time. This is just my theory. But when will we get Resident Evil 2 remake news? I feel like we're gonna get Resident Evil 2 remake news at TGS 2017. Capcom has made appearance in TGS, more specifically Resident Evil 7 with the Lantern gameplay. I know you guys remember this cringy ass girl. But I feel like the only appropriate time for the company to mention Resident Evil 2 remake news again is where they have another Resident Evil brand production to push to you guys. So I think when Not a Hero is on the horizon of coming out, or they're ready to talk about it, that is when we're gonna get Resident Evil 2 remake news, and that is my prediction. Again, on my previous prediction, it was the game's gonna come out January 21st, 2018, hitting Resident Evil 2's 2-decade anniversary. Um, but we haven't gotten any news about it, so that release date idea is seeming a bit bleak. So right now, I feel like the next time we're gonna get news is TGS. I'm gonna play this clip just for you old school Resident Evil fans who followed the game up to release. This chick. Yeah. Very cringy, but again, I feel this is when we're gonna get news. Once Not a Hero is ready to be talked about again, ready to be pushed into the public eye, they're gonna use the hype train of Resident Evil 2 remake to do it. So they're gonna have, again, my prediction, they're gonna have some big event or maybe some small event, doesn't really matter, and they're gonna talk about Resident Evil 2. Oh god, here's some screenshots. It says it's in production. Things you should have gotten a year ago. Here it is now. Oh, but by the way, here is Resident Evil 7, Not a Hero, and they're gonna show like a trailer or something. You know, even though they're mentioning Resident Evil 2 remake, there's gonna be more focus to Resident Evil 7's free DLC. Again, my own prediction. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I'm gonna be out of here. Thank you guys for listening. You're all family to me. I think you all kind of forget that, but you guys are family to me, and you know, every subscriber here, every like, every dislike, I do appreciate it. Deuces, guys.